Hi, Rhamondre. How good did that feel after what was an interesting week for you guys? How did that feel today to put that together? And it seemed like you had, especially on that final drive, that determination that you would not be denied. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it feels good to be at home, get a win, and yeah, it feels good to get a win at home.
How about that final drive?
Yeah, just being relentless, trying to win a game.
Big Booby Miles fan?
Yeah, of course.
We want to win, put Mondre in? That'll stop with the references. uh, Gerard described the offense today with a lot of runs that were maybe not the most physical, but were not the most productive, but were physical, and described them as body blows. How important is it to bring that physicality to the running game, even if it isn't turning into the raw yardage that you may from the outside may want to see?
Right. It's very important. Just tiring those guys out up front, the front seven. The Jets front seven, they're a very good front seven. They run around a lot, so just trying to wear them down up front and be physical.
Roger, we hear about next man up all the time, but what was the mood in the locker room when you guys heard that Drake was going to be out for the rest of the game?
Like you said, just next man up. We had a game to win and a game to go play. So yeah, next man up.
Josh Brigadier in the middle.
On the winning touchdown run, did you know you were in the end zone? It was kind of hard to see from our vantage point with all those bodies in there and where you actually were. But did you know you crossed the plane?
Yeah, I knew I crossed the plane. Yes.
Rhamondre, what was the difference between right over here?
Okay.
What was the difference for you guys week 3 as opposed to this week? I know AVP talked about sticking with the run a little bit more. I don't know how much that figured into it, but just in terms of overall game plan and your approach, what was the difference between the week 3 loss and what happened today for you guys?
Well, I look at every game as a totally different game, even though it's the same team. But yeah, I think we ran the ball. We ran the ball a lot. We were physical up front. O-line was moving people. And I think we just had a nice physical game. And I'm glad it ended the way it did.
Alan Siegel, far left.
Rhamondre, after that third down didn't get in, it was 4th and 1. It was going to be it for the game. You get in the huddle, you get in, you line it up, and you know you're getting the ball.
Mm-hmm.
What's going through your mind in terms of knowing that this is it?
The win is kind of on my back at this point in the game. So I knew I had to get in regardless of what happened and, to get the win, and I'm glad I did that.
Rhamondre here. One word that I wouldn't think of when I hear you or see you play is soft. Can you talk about what you brought? Because you seem to have some tough runs. The 0-yard run that you got hit about 6 times on the sideline, you seem to have a little extra fight today.
Yeah, I like to think that's me all the time. So, just being relentless, trying to gain yards, breaking tackles, and, just trying to give my team a chance and stay above the sticks. That's what I try to do every game.
How did you feel the team responded to those soft comments from Gerard from last week?
We responded good. I guess we won. So, yeah.
Rhamondre, you guys overcame a lot of adversity today. Obviously, Drake May goes down and, some inconsistencies. What's Alex Van Pelt like in those moments? What's he telling you guys on the sideline as all these things are happening? He's trying to obviously get you guys to, stay locked in.
It really is just next man up. We got to stay locked into the game. We had a whole game to play. Drake got hurt pretty early, so we still had a lot of time on the clock to, go get a W. And I feel like we did a good job just, believing in Jacoby, just believing in AVP and going to get it done.
Rhamondre, the defense today, they're playing shorthanded again. Kyle scratched, Daniel not playing because of injuries. There were a number of instances where they forced the Jets into field goal attempts, one that was missed after a sack, to give you guys the opportunity to come back and take the lead and then eventually to win the game. How would you characterize their effort today defensively?
Relentless. Like you said, some guys had to step up today, and I think they did a great job. Got us on the field when we needed to be on the field, and they played physical. They played just how we would want them to play. So great by them.
Thank you very much, Rhamondre.
Thank you, guys.
Oh man, it's good to talk to you guys after a win.
I know, right? Could you point out all the negative things you did today, Hunter? No, just kidding.
Yeah.
After what you guys were able to do after the week, and what your head coach said, you guys had a meeting. You have 4th and goal with 25 seconds left. You put it in. What did today kind of say about you guys as far as the team goes?
I mean, I think we've been a tough football team the whole entire year. Obviously, record speaks for itself, and we haven't been able to produce that into wins. But guys just keep going to work, keep enduring the hard times, and just continue to be mentally tough. I think more than anything, I think it was just good for everybody to go out there and execute and get a big win. Everybody needed that.
Hunter, we could hear you guys coming off the field in the locker room, hooping and hollering in the locker room. Where did that locker room rank in terms of celebrations after a regular season win and in terms of atmospheres you've had coming off the field?
Where did it rank? I mean, it's always good. It's a great feeling. I mean, especially the way the season's gone so far. I mean, 6 straight weeks of, just tough locker rooms. So to finally break through and have a, big win for us, especially here at home, it's just what we needed. And, the locker room obviously reacted like how it should. I mean, that's a big win, divisional win against a really good football team that has a lot of talent. So it was huge for us.
Hey, Hunter, after losing Drake in the second quarter, how do you characterize Jacoby's performance, not only on the field during plays, but handling the situation on the sideline in the huddle?
Yeah, Drake, obviously it was tough to see him go down. You never like to see that. Hopefully he gets better and he's good. But Jacoby's just a proven vet, a guy that's been around, played a lot of football, obviously played a lot of games with us this year. And, had to, sit the last couple of weeks, but he's always ready, man. And for him to step up, lead a big drive at the end of the game was huge. And I was super happy to, go out there and compete with him.
Can you describe the feeling inside the huddle before that touchdown at the very end? I think you guys had 4 tight ends technically on the field, but 2 of them were offensive linemen, so there's a lot of size there.
Yeah.
What were you guys thinking going into that play?
Well, we needed 6 inches, so we needed just to get basically the football across the goal line. So play that we've repped a lot, and we were able to execute. Rhamondre, tough running, and able to get it in.
Thanks. Hunter, this week we asked you about what the comments of Gerard kind of would do for you. You said you were going to look in the mirror. And I'm wondering if what he said last week sort of motivated you or inspired you somehow to come out and get this win today.
Personally, I'm always motivated myself. I've played this game a long time, and you got to have some kind of motivation to keep you going. And I have a lot of motivation that just keeps me trying to play this game at a high level. And so I think it was, when your leader says something about you like that, I mean, you never want that to define you. And these guys, I think responded well. I think we all responded well to, what was said last week, and we're able to go out there and get a win.
Hunter, speaking of responding, it was a difficult day for the most part for the receivers. There were a number of drops out there, including a couple for Kayshawn. One, during that period of time when there wasn't a lot of production from the other guys, how much pride did you take in being the reliable guy, tight end, for Jacoby, for Drake before that? But then what did Kayshawn show you on that final series, the way he answered with those catches?
I always want to be reliable. I mean, that's something that hopefully by the end of my career, that's one of the number one things guys can say about it. They can rely on me in every situation, not even just football, but rely on me off the field too. And I think it was really cool to see how those guys responded, though. Like you said, I mean, huge play by Kayshawn at the end. I was really happy to see him, make a big play. It can be hard, when you get hit with some adversity. I mean, this team's been hit with adversity. So for him to respond the way that he did and make a big play in a big moment, those last 2 catches at the end was huge for us, and it was exciting to see him kind of get going.
Christian, obviously it was a little bit of an interesting week off the field. Your coach said you guys played soft, and you guys came back, had a team meeting. What did you think of the response from your team today?
Yeah, I mean, I hit on it, earlier in the week. I mean, he said it, but I mean, it wasn't that wasn't something he ain't say to us first. I mean, it's not, nobody took it personal. It's a challenge, you know. So I mean, we came out and did what we had to do.
Hey, Christian, certainly looked like you had a strong performance against Devontae Adams. How would you assess your performance in the game?
Anyway, we won, man. We won. We won.
Christian, just considering the 1-6 start, how good does this win feel, and how bad did you guys need this?
Yeah, I mean you always want to win. That's what this profession is about, is winning. So I mean, like you said, we started out not good, but we got the win today. But it's a win. It's a win, but we got to string them together. So we got to enjoy this one tonight and turn the page and be ready for next week.
Front row on the left.
Right here. Christian, we've talked to you a few times in recent weeks. You've been the first one out here sort of facing the music after the loss, but this time we could hear celebration in the locker room. And how does it feel, the energy right now coming out of that locker room and being with your teammates?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, we go through all this stuff. We go through wins together, we go through losses together, and we come in every day and practice and practice and practice. So I mean, to get this one a win and a divisional win, it means a lot.
Hey, Christian, you guys showed a lot of guts, a lot of fight, especially there at the end. Considering where you were in the season, the standings, how much of this win was just about mentality?
I mean, it was a mentality, but also that's football. It's always mentality. We're not always going to look at our record, our wins or losses. We're not going to look at the scoreboard. We're not going to look who's up, who's down. It's all right. Go out there, next play after next play, one play at a time, and we'll look at the scoreboard and at the end of the game.
Two final questions, Josh Brigadier.
Drake goes down in the second quarter with a concussion. What can you say about the job that Jacoby Brissett came in and did, especially on that last drive?
Yeah, he's a vet. I mean, it's not like he's never been put in that situation. So I mean, he came in. We rallied behind him. We're excited he went out there and handled business on the offensive side.
Last question, Chris Ryan on the left.
Christian, you mentioned the group's still going to work, but how important is it to get results when you are putting the work in over and over again and you're not getting results? To have a day like today kind of reinforce what Gerard's doing, what the group is doing, how significant?
Yeah, I mean, it's big. It's just, you just got to get over that hump, and we got over the hump. So I mean, it means a lot. But I mean, I know I keep saying it, but we're gonna enjoy it. But we gotta string these together, and we got that good energy going into next week. So we're excited for that.
Thank you, Christian.
Appreciate y'all.
Marcus, you had said that you were close as far as maybe being able to get one going as far as the punt return or what was the feeling like for you, and how big of a boost did you feel that gave your football team?
It was one of those situations to where Hasty had a great block first off. All my guys were, working their tails off and everything like that all year and everything, so that was pretty good, but I owe him one for sure. I definitely should have scored, so I put that on myself.
Hey, Marcus, can you describe what it's like to go from playing defense, and sometimes you've got to run down the field in coverage, and then you've got to immediately refocus and catch your wind to return a punt? What's that transition like, and what was it like before that 62-yard return?
It's one of those situations to where you always make sure that you condition. We take pride on making sure that we're conditioned as a football team just in general, so that's the main thing that we focus on.
Hey, Marcus, you guys come into the game 6 losses in a row, and obviously coming back from London, not the easiest turnaround. Mm-hmm. How do you sort of flip the switch, I guess, and mentally get yourself ready, and then what's it like to achieve the result when you do that?
Yeah. Coach Mayo, he talked to us about the situation of course, we know we have 6 losses, but it's all about going back to practice. We can't mope on what's in the past. What's in the past is what we can't change. But it's one of those situations to where we do still control our destiny, and just making sure that we go 1-0 each week is the main thing. So we're happy that we got the dub.
Marcus, sort of going off of that, past 6 weeks, locker room hasn't been the most boisterous after a win, but this week we could tell a clear difference in the energy pouring, we can hear it out in the tunnel. What was it like coming into that locker room and sharing that moment with your teammates of finally breaking through?
It felt great. We put a lot of, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears whenever we come down to practice and just training camp and everything. So it's hard to win in this league, and some people, take it for granted, but it's definitely hard to do. So we're happy to get the dub.
Marcus, you're obviously a versatile guy who can play inside and outside, but you've mostly been a slot guy this season. So what was it like in this game, mostly being on the outside, and what was the challenge that you had going up against like Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, just that combo is top tier for sure. Garrett, great player. Rogers, Hall of Fame player. It's one of those situations to where I didn't play the best game, of course, but it was just one of those situations to where just taking it one play at a time, and definitely made a play at the end of the game that helped out, but just happy to get the dub.
And along those lines, possibly part of the reason you were playing out there was that John, wasn't practicing on Friday and is going, was dealing with something off the field. Just as a teammate, a veteran guy, what are your thoughts on John and just sort of just helping lift him up and come out with this result?
Yeah, us three, I would say Gonzo, John, and myself, we all can play inside and out. So it's one of those situations to where, coach come up to us and let us know what he want, game plan each week, and we just go from there.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate y'all.
Hey, Christian, how would you describe just what the atmosphere was like in the locker room after the game, given the struggles results-wise leading up to today?
Yeah, no, it was ecstatic. It's what we expect from ourselves. It's what we expect from this team. All glory to God and to the men I fought alongside today. We did great.
And Roach? Christian, what was your mentality today? You seemed like you had a bunch of energy. I think you led the team in on 9 tackles. You had a sack, a pass breakup. What was it like for you to play out there today? What was going through your mind the entire game?
Be joyful. Be joyful with the opportunity God's given me. I felt like last week when I was watching film, I just didn't like how when even I made a play or when my teammates made a play, my mind was automatically on to the next play instead of enjoying the moment. So my mentality going into this game was be joyful. Be joyful with every opportunity, every snap, every breath the Lord gives me.
Hey, Christian, speaking of that sack, can you take us through the blitz call in your sack of Rogers? Because obviously it's a huge play given what happens next.
Yeah, no, we had me and Dell had a little miscommunication at first. We got it sorted out, so I ended up adding in late. And I was able to chip Brees on the way in, and then my mind kind of just went blank, and it's see ball, get ball. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Christian, right here.
Oh, sorry.
It seems like your role's growing every week, especially the last few weeks. How is your day-to-day change during the week, and just how do you kind of keep track of everything or just stay on top of it when there's new things every week?
I think my coaches do a great job of getting me prepared, of making sure my eyes are in the right place. I have good keys. When it comes to the things I do on the day-to-day, I do watch a little bit more film. I stay a little bit longer. But I wouldn't say much changes. I always prepared like I'm a starter. But I would say I maybe just watch a little bit more, stay a little bit longer, and it seems to be working out.
Christian, was there anything you guys changed with your front today to help your production against the run? Last few weeks obviously been a little bit different story, but much better in terms of overall production today.
It really came down to everyone doing their job. For us as linebackers, we have to have good eyes, good keys. If you have your eyes in the wrong place, then you're gonna be all over the field. You're never gonna be where you're supposed to be. And I would say that's what I took from last few games I've played. Is I'm like, I gotta lock in on my keys, on my eyes, and then the play will come to me. Don't try to do someone else's job. Do my job.
I know that DeMarcus Covington's mentioned that last year you were really exclusively a special teamer, but this offseason really started working more on the defensive side of the ball. I'm curious what exactly changed, and I know you mentioned like in season how that changed for you, but really just what was that like going from someone who was only in one phase to someone who can contribute in multiple ways?
I would say it comes down to coach's belief in me. They saw, or at least I think they saw that I'm a little bit faster. I can cover pretty well. And it's just, I feel like when talking to them, they said they want to use my tools a little bit more. You know, nothing is given, like nothing I have is given for me. It's all given me from above. So whether it's a small role or a big role, I'm going to play my heart out. And I think, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at now if it weren't for High, Mayo, DC, and even like Mike and Bry. There's a lot on our defensive side with the coaches who are with belief in me, and just feeding into like, hey, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. Play like it, play like it. So I have nothing but high praise for the coaches and getting me ready for this role.
You mentioned earlier appreciating things in the moment, and we overheard a little bit of that walking past the locker room. We could hear the celebration on the inside. Could you just take us what it was like in that moment, celebrating with your teammates, and what it felt like to get that win?
I think it was a great win. You know, it was ecstatic in the locker room. I think we're all hungry for more now. I think we're hungry for being better because the game today wasn't perfect. You know, we strive for perfection, but in the moment, you know, like I said, we want to enjoy the things that come to us. I think it was great just to see everybody smiling, everybody excited to win, excited to be here, and ready to keep going forward.
Keon, after the game, said that Aaron Rodgers looked maybe less mobile than he did earlier in the season. Was that something that you guys noticed as a unit, or was it just him? You know, obviously you had the sack there early in the game. Were you able to notice that as a unit?
I've watched a lot of film this week, and I couldn't tell that he was less mobile. There's a few times where he was getting out of the pocket a lot, like against Denver. You know, just showing that he's older, but his legs are working well. Maybe that's just something Keon picked up on. I didn't notice it out there, nor did I. Not that I didn't care, but it wasn't going to affect how I was going to play. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.